What's up everybody, Matt Moran here for another car review. This is of course the 2018 Subaru WRX Limited. Huge thanks to Matt for providing me with this brand new 2018 WRX to review for you guys today. So about the 2018 WRXs, well, I'm a big fan of them. They just look really good here. I like some of the changes they've made for 2018. You have the more aggressive front bumper there that has some more aggressive cutouts there near the fog lights and doesn't have the sea of plastic that the 2018 STIs do there. And so I think it actually looks pretty good here on the standard WRX. You also have a new grille that looks very nice as well. And on the Limiteds here and on the STI models, you get these new LED headlamps that look a little sharper and really look good. They also have they're adaptive, so they'll turn into corners with the steering wheel as well, which is a very cool feature to have. Coming down to the side, you have these new 18-inch wheels that look very good, and you have these little side vents here. You have the bulging fenders both in the front and in the rear. That gives it a little bit more of an aggressive look that I really like as well. And then the back there, it's completely unchanged. Now he did add some slight tinting to the reverse part of the taillights there, which helps to make it look a little more aggressive. But otherwise, you still got the same quad exhaust tips, the same mild rear diffuser there. And overall, it's just a really good look. I still love the way these WRXs look, so I'm glad they didn't change them too much. I think all the changes they did make were pretty good improvements. Right, for the interior of the 2018 WRX Limited, well, especially here in limited trim, it's really nice and there's a lot to like. But anyway, first things first, sitting down in these seats, very nice leather seats, same shape as before. Now the performance package, which is new for 2018, is only available on the premium models, not on the limited, so you can't get these nice Recaro seats in the limited trim here. So you have the standard seats you've had since 2015, but they are still pretty good seats. They're not the sportiest feeling seats out there. Wish there was a little more support here, especially around the thighs, but the torso support's still pretty good, and overall they're very comfortable seats as well. And here in the limited, they're power adjustable and have lumbar as well, which is nice to have. And so overall, pretty good seats. Next is the steering wheel in the WRX, which is the same here for 2018 for the most part, but still just has an awesome 9-3 grip that I absolutely love. Great 10-2 notches, just really the perfect thickness, nice flat bottom to it as well, and just I love the look of it, and I love the way that it feels. It still has some cheap plastics here, especially down at the bottom. Here it looks like it's supposed to be metal, but it's actually kind of a cheaper material there, and I wish that was something they would have improved here for the newer ones, but I think they did slightly darken it as far as color goes, so it looks a little sleeker here. And you do have a good amount of buttons here on the left-hand side, and it's a little disproportional to the right side, which only has a few buttons. But, you know, those things are nitpicking. The things that you use here, the 9-3 grip primarily is just awesome, and so really a great wheel. Next are the gauges here in the 2018 WRX, which have some slight changes to them. Basically, the font's a little different, and they now have white backlighting instead of the reddish orange that they've had in the past. But they still look really, really good. You still have that same nice high-resolution little screen there in the middle that isn't configurable, but you know, it does have a digital speedometer there, which is the main thing, and very nice to have that. And I do like the look of the gauges here with the white backgrounds now. They do look very good. But the real big improvement is this top center screen here, which went from 4.3 inches to 5.9 inches, and basically got rid of that whole little basic climate control part and just made it one big widescreen thing instead. And it looks really good. I love the fonts on it. It's very high resolution as well. It looks great, and so it allows you to have a larger boost gauge there, and also you know, it'll display your all-wheel drive stuff and all those types of things that are going on there within the car, and also do your basic trip information. Just a really nice set of little additional information here in that screen, and it's just controlled with this little lever here. And coming down to the rest of the center stack here, though, it's basically the same as 2016, 2017 models here for the most part. 2017s, they did get a screen increase in size, which is nice for the premium ones. Here on the limited, though, it still has the capacitive touch buttons here that you know, work pretty well. It's the Starlink system that Subaru has. It doesn't have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, even though the 2017 Imprezas and 2018 Imprezas have Apple CarPlay, as well as most of the other Subaru models. But the WRX, for some reason, does not have it. I don't know if it's just that head unit just doesn't work here or whatever, but you make do without Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is a sore exclusion in my book, because, you know, otherwise you just have these apps. And so if you still want to use, you know, the maps on your phone and things like that, you're going to have to just use a little phone mount or something like that, unfortunately. But not a big deal. And those that really do want Apple CarPlay and Android Auto could always buy one of the older 2015 and 2016 models that had the base screen in them. That one is a standard double DIN unit. You could just pull that out and drop in, you know, something aftermarket instead. But anyway, you know, this infotainment still works perfectly fine for the radio, Bluetooth streaming, all that basic stuff. stuff. And so it looks very good as well, you know, with volume knobs and tune knobs all feeling nice and whatnot. And so not too bad otherwise. Coming down to the climate controls here, again, same basic thing you've had for a few years here. Does look and feel very nicely. You know, they really, from 2015 and up, really improved the interior on these WRXs a lot. And so they just, you know, all these knobs feel really nice and look good as well. So very well done there. As far as store space in the 2018 WRX, same as always, but still excellent. You have a large map pocket here in the doors. It has a bottle holder integrated in it, and so very nicely done there. Coming over to the center, you have this massive cubby right underneath your HVAC controls that also includes a power outlet. I do wish there was still a USB jack or something up front here as well, but you just have a power outlet and that's it. But not a huge deal. Just really nice to have that large amount of space, though. It's really great. Coming back, you have a little coin holder type of thing, and then you have your two cup holders, which are a good size here. And then you have the center armrest, which is the armrest extension, which is like a Subaru parts catalog thing that is the same as the one in my 2006 Subaru Legacy. And I complained about this last year in the 2017 WRX that also had this option. If you care about a nice soft center console lid, then don't go for the armrest extension. The standard ones have a much nicer armrest here, but when you get this armrest extension, it's this hard, barely rubberized material here that just feels cheap. I mean, it's loose and everything else. Like I said, it's basically over 10 years old, this part, and they're still putting it in 2018 models. I don't know why. Someone at Subaru should just hurry up and make a quick revision here for this with a new top on it. So I'm not sure why they have that. Anyway, you open it up and you have this very nice center cubby that has a good amount of space in it. You also do have two USB jacks, an auxiliary jack, and another power outlet. So very nicely done there, and really great space. And so overall, not bad whenever you get rid of this lid. Backseat space in the 2018 WRX is really great. You know, it still has a ton of space. I'm 5'9", me sitting behind myself. I still have plenty of inches of legroom there, more than stuff like the Focus ST, and I think even a little more than the Civic Type R and things like that. So I mean, it really feels nice and roomy back there. I think it's the roomiest all-wheel drive vehicle in its class, they say, whatever that, you know, amounts to. But it is a lot of space back there. Headroom is also pretty good as well. A couple of inches spare room there. And another nice improvement here for the 2018 WRX is there's a new center fold-down armrest there that has two cup holders in it, which is a nice improvement there to help give the backseat passengers a little more comfort there. And those backseats also do fold down, which helps with the versatility since there is no wagon or hatchback version of this still. They refuse to bring the Levorg to the United States. So in the meantime, you know, you just make do with seats that do fold flat. And going back to the trunk, there is a decent size. Again, probably not the best for a four-door vehicle of this size, but it's not too bad. It should be plenty, you know, to fit four people's stuff within reason in there. And like I said, since you do have the seats that fold flat, if you only have two people in this thing, then you can obviously fit plenty of stuff there in the back seat as well. So overall, not too bad. A couple of the enhancements they made for 2018 WRXs here are that they've improved some of the materials, and I think this on the side of the doors here is a little more padded and plush feeling, which is nice. I think that even this upper door trim is a little bit softer and a little spongier than the super hard plastic used to have up top here before. So some nice improvements there for sure. You also have some leather wrapping here for the top of this little hood for that additional gauge cluster there, which also is nice. Also, the side glass is a little bit thicker than before as well, so they say that it really improves you know, the sound insulation in here, especially obviously with the windows up. But they've also did improve sound insulation elsewhere, and I think the roof and a few other places, in order to you know, make it a little quieter and more refined in here, which will be very interesting to see how that materializes out on the streets as well. All right, so start up and go for a drive. 2018 WRX has this very nice, got a really nice key fob to it. It's got a nice weight, feels really good with this actual metal, I think, on it. And so a really quality unit there. And on the limiteds here, it's keyless entry, push button start. So you just leave the key in your pocket, hit the engine start button, and it starts right up. Alright, so setting off in the 2018 Subaru WRX. Well, first thing that you really notice is one of the big changes they made for 2018 is they said that it has smoother clutch take-up than before, and I can certainly feel that. It actually feels even easier than before. It was never a very hard car to drive or anything, but the clutch does feel a good bit better than before, which is a nice improvement. Another thing they said is they also revised the synchros in the shifter here so that it has a better feel as well. And this one also does have the STI short throw shifter, but the throws are still fairly long, but it does feel really good and very precise. It doesn't feel sloppy or anything like that, so overall feels pretty good so far. Another thing to note is visibility here in the 2018 WRX is really great, same as 2015 and up. But you know, I think one change possibly is this rearview mirror looks larger than they did on the previous ones, and so that's a welcome improvement if that is in fact changed. But a great view out of the back. It's got a huge windshield here in these WRXs, so you can see forward very, very well, and view out of the sides is great with these very large side windows as well. Alrighty, so let's turn on to the straight road here first and see how it does. Here we go. A little bit of a delay, then it takes off. It pulls pretty good here, all the way up to that 6,500 RPM red line, or a little more, maybe 6,700. But it pulls strong, you know. It's definitely less extreme feeling than the older WRXs, but you know, for 2018, here's the same horsepower, 268, 258 pound-feet of torque. This exhaust is awesome too. He's installed the nameless axle-back exhaust, which is, in my opinion, the best exhaust you can do here for the 2015 and up WRXs. It just sounds so good. Not too quiet, not too loud, just a really nice little exhaust. And it's only an axle back, so it's cheap and easy to put on as well. But yeah, so as far as the driving of the WRX here, one thing that, and I've mentioned this last year with the 2017s as well, that isn't changed, is the throttle response is a little bit on the relaxed side, and you know, it takes a little while for that turbo to spool up still. So it's similar to the older WRXs in that regard, but also a little different in that it's more progressive with the way that it builds the boost. So it, you know, comes on a little more gradually, but it still does have that delay there. But I wish there was a sport mode in the WRXs where you could hit it and have sharper throttle response and things like that, because it still does feel like it just needs a little bit of a sharper throttle. All right, so now we got the windows up and we're on some corners here. And so one of the big things, you know, like I said, is they improved the sound insulation here. And out on the road, it does feel a little different. I mean, it just feels a little more refined. I mean, the newer WRXs here all felt pretty nice already, but it does seem a little quieter in here. Maybe that's just because I know they improved that, but it does seem like it's better. One thing though that I did notice is they did retune the suspensions here on the 2018 WRXs, and so I've noticed it's a little smoother, but it still feels pretty sharp. I mean, I have to push it around a few more corners here to get a better feel for it, but you know, just in normal commuting type of driving, it's just really amazingly smooth and soft, and even again, it's better than some of its rivals that are out there, like the GTI, for example. This, I think, is a lot more of a softer and supple ride than those, while still feeling pretty sharp. Another thing, as we're going around a couple of corners here, getting a little bit of a feel for the steering, they also retuned the electric steering here in the 2018 WRXs to give it a better feel, and that's one thing I complained about the 2017s, was it felt a little dead. This does feel a little bit better. It's not amazing still, but I think it's certainly improved over the 17s. It doesn't feel as dead as those cars did with the steering rack, so I do like the changes they made there as well. One interesting thing though that I can't display right now, unfortunately, because I'm behind traffic, but there's an interesting dead zone that I don't know if they changed the tune a little bit on the 2018s, because I never noticed this on the 2015s or the 17 that I reviewed last year, but there's an interesting dead zone past 5,000 RPMs, and it picks back up maybe 5,500 or 6,000 and pulls for that last little, you know, extra 500 or 700 RPMs there. But it's an interesting dead spot, and I don't know if that's because of its relation to the BRZ motor and that having a dead spot, or you know what it is, but it's just an interesting thing. And so everything, and in the 2017s I mentioned this as well, that you know, everything is a little more relaxed than you would like. For the WRX, you want it to be more aggressive than your standard Imprezas and things like that, and you know, like I said, the throttle response is a little more dead than I would like. Brakes also have a good amount of dead travel before you actually start getting into them, and then once they do grip, it does feel good. And I mean, they're plentiful brakes to stop you and everything, but they don't have a huge amount of bite whenever you do start getting on them. It's just a very gradual, progressive feeling, and a little too relaxed again for my personal taste. And then maybe that would be improved if you did get the performance package with those upgraded brake pads. That might help make it feel a little bit grabby, but it just seems like it needs more pressure in the fluid or something in order to, you know, get those a little more primed and ready to go, you know, as soon as you tap on that brake. dead zone kicks in there, and it's a slight little drop off. And I mean, turbo motors, a lot of them do have a little bit of a drop off as well, so maybe it's just something related to that. But it still feels fun. The thing about the WRX is you just have to learn how to drive these newer ones. It's just a little different, like, again, because of the slower response to the pedal and stuff. You just have to kind of lean on that turbo spool a little bit more and just be a little rougher with your throttle inputs, and allow that turbo to just come on in and help you with your power, and it just slowly surges forward once it does spool up there. But it feels like a bigger turbo than it actually is, because it is a fairly small turbo here. We're still only doing the 268 horsepower from this motor, this 2-liter flat 4 engine, but it does feel good. It's just, I think a tune would really go a long way with probably helping everything to feel sharper. It would probably fix the throttle response and help this motor to feel a little punchier there in the top end there. But it does feel very good. But now we're on some roads that are a little bit rougher, got some more corners here, and it does feel good. I mean, there's one thing, even though everything's a little disconnected, the WRX has this sense of fun about it that other cars don't always capture. Where, yes, it might not be the best of all of the competition at 10/10ths, but whenever you're cruising around at 6 or 7/10ths, it's really a lot of fun without beating you up or anything either. So it feels really good. Another thing that helps here with the handling of the WRX is it has active torque vectoring going on as well, where it'll brake one of those inner wheels to help pull you into corners a little bit better. And you can't really tell the system's working or anything. You just feel the good handling of this vehicle, and that works in conjunction with the fairly lightweight that these have. For being such a large and roomy and comfortable vehicle, these only weigh around 3,400 pounds. Now that's for the 2015 models, so with the additional sound insulation and stuff, maybe it's gained a few pounds, but it still shouldn't be over 3,500 pounds for sure. And it just, again, feels pretty lightweight and really sharp. Especially since you have such great visibility here in the WRX, you just feel like you're just gliding along on a cloud with how smooth the suspension is, and just being able to see all your surroundings really helps whenever you're carving up back roads as well. Another acceleration. So it still has a little bit of rev hang, so that your 1-2 shifts are a little rough sometimes if you don't finesse it just right, but it still does just pull like a champ. These things, they do feel a lot quicker, and 268 horsepower in these days we're living with such high horsepower vehicles doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it really does feel, I think, faster than that. This is about around 5 seconds 0 to 60, low 5 seconds 0 to 60 times here for these, and that sounds right. That kind of properly conveys what this car does. But 268 horsepower kind of makes it feel or sound slower than it actually is. These things, if you hop in one of these things, I think most people will be pleasantly surprised. Like I said, it's a little sluggish in the lower RPM, so once you let it rip and take it to redline, you kind of get the magic of this car, and the motor and the whole package as a whole is just, it's a lot of fun. And so, as much as the STI is a lot of fun with the old sound and the more extreme driving and handling, honestly, I think for most people, the WRX is more than enough. It's plenty of fun while still being more efficient, a little cheaper, and a lot more livable as far as the suspension setup and things like that go. Yeah, now we're on even more extreme corners here, no traffic, so we're able to push it a little bit more, and it really holds up well. Even the more that you push it, it doesn't really fall on its face too much. There's a little bit of lean and body roll, I suppose, here, but I love the way they retuned the suspension, because it definitely does feel sharper than the 2017s. I think it does have a little less play in the suspension than it did before, without sacrificing ride comfort. So they did a really good job with this retune the suspension here, and so it just makes for a really great daily driver. And while I'm mentioning daily driver, another improvement for the 2018s that's worth noting, if you care about safety, they did reinforce the front end to do better in the small overlap crash testing now, which, I mean, the Subarus have always been excellent. The WRX, I think, was a 5-star car before anyway, but now it's even more improved. They haven't tested them yet as of me filming this here, but I'm sure that it's going to, again, be a 5-star IHS Top Safety Pick Plus. This is the manual, but with the CVT version, you can get the sight technology, which gives you all the safety nannies, you know, with lane keep assist and you know, autonomous braking, all that kind of stuff, which I personally find a little too invasive. But for those that do want the additional layer of protection there with that, that's also nice that they do offer that, you know, for those that want that and, you know, are willing to do the CVT, which I still have yet to drive a CVT WRX here, but I really think the manual's the way to go if you're the enthusiast. I mean, nothing beats the engagement and the feel of a clutch pedal and an actual shifter, and it's a ton of fun. But yeah, so huge thanks once again to Matt for allowing me to review his brand new WRX here. It's, again, just a little bit better. You know, I don't know if it's a large enough of a change to upgrade from a 2015, you know, into something else if, you know, you're just happy with what you currently have WRX wise. But for those that are in the market for a new vehicle and haven't had, you know, WRX yet, I think, you know, since they depreciate so little, you're better off just buying a new one than, you know, a 2015 that's only a few thousand cheaper. So I think it's a really great car, a really nice improvement overall. And so anyway, let me know your thoughts about the 2018 WRX in the comments below. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.